Hi there, tenacious Taurus. Welcome to your monthly horoscope for May, June, and July. If you are returning, thank you so much for your patience and your support. And if you are new here, welcome. And I trust that you will receive something valuable out of this horoscope. Please keep in mind that the most accurate astrology is your personal astrology. So only take what resonates and leave the rest. And I am going to split this horoscope into challenges and opportunities, starting with the challenges so we can end this horoscope on a positive note. Please feel free to use the comment section. It is there for you and I to connect and for you to ask any questions or share any relevant experiences that you would like to. So I look forward to hearing from you. For now, let's get into the horoscope. So, seeing as though we're already more than halfway through the month of May, we are going to use the earlier aspects to reflect and compare whether or not we experienced the same themes. Starting off with the full moon that was in the sign of Scorpio on the 1st of May. So as you know, Taurus, Scorpio is your mirror, also known as your opposition sign. So you gain a lot of balance interacting with the Scorpio energy. Scorpio is your other half. So when this full moon was transpiring, you may have been experiencing some transformative realizations that may have felt like they are pulling you in the opposite direction of where you were headed or where you intended to go. Some of you may have had final outcomes to certain situations that triggered feelings of uncertainty, like you don't know where you're supposed to go from where you are or from what the result actually is. Whereas others of you could have uncovered certain truths or hidden things that are completely changing the direction that you are heading in. So there is just this feeling of your energy being split or your decisions being split. Your heart and your head are split. You're not really sure which direction to head in. Should you follow your heart or should you follow the logical mind? Should you follow your ego perhaps, and do things in alignment with that? So this is an energy that could have left you, the Scorpio full moon could have left you feeling like you are split in between the middle and you don't really know which direction to take. And then on the 6th of May, we had Pluto beginning its retrograde in the sign of Aquarius between 5 to 3 degrees. So if you are a Taurus who has planets or angles within 5 to 3 degrees of any of the fixed signs, so this is Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, or Leo, then this retrograde will be very significant for you. And during this time, you may be experiencing a challenging rebuilding of yourself after a breakdown of the old identity, more especially if you have your ascendant or your sun between 3 to 5 degrees, then this has a lot to do with your identity. So perhaps, while Pluto was direct, there were certain things about yourself that you were continuing to identify with, and you have experienced that some of those things you cannot continue identifying with them. And now that these things are no longer there for you to resonate with, now a new identity must be formed, it must be rebuilt. All right, so you may be in the process of rebuilding your identity during this retrograde. Some of you are regaining your power, and some of you are regaining a deeper and more truthful understanding of a situation, of yourself, or of someone else. All right, someone that you are in a relationship with. It really does depend on which planets are being impacted in your chart by this Pluto retrograde. And please remember, I do have the dates of how long a planet or a transit will be in a particular sign. So you can look for those dates in the comment section. They will be there if you are interested. And then as we get into the month of June, we have Venus entering and moving through the sign of Leo. So the way in which this energy can challenge you is that you may find it difficult to get up and deal with the things that are important, especially any challenges that you might be facing or any responsibilities that you need to take care of. Right now, this Venus in Leo energy could really have you prioritizing feeling good and feeling comfortable within the home more especially. I think this will ring true more so for the Taurus risings. And for the rest of you, look to where you have your Leo house. If you are not a Taurus rising, but you're a Taurus sun or moon, check to see which house the sign of Leo rules for you, because you may be more interested in indulging in the things of that area of life. So, for instance, it could be spending, right? Going shopping, it could be eating for some of you, it could be entertainment, it could be pleasure, it could be leisure, spending time with friends. It really depends on where this shows up in your chart. And as a result, this could cause you to miss out on opportunities, or it could cause for certain challenges to pile up because there is an energy that is prioritizing enjoyment over the seriousness of life. So seek a balance, try to strike a balance with this energy. Do not overindulge in the good times. And then at the very end of the month of June, we have Jupiter entering and moving through the sign of Leo. So for you, this does form a challenging aspect to your energy. However, it does indicate that there will be significant growth and expansion happening for you. It's just that it's going to require you to rise to the challenges. There's going to be some challenges to the opportunities that are presenting for you now. And some of you may even have to create some of these opportunities for yourself. They may not just be handed to you. All right, like with the passive energy of Cancer, where we were more receiving and receptive to opportunities. When Jupiter is in Leo, we may have to be on our toes with creating opportunities that can lead to our growth and our expansion. You do need to look out for overconfidence and overestimation of yourself, and even overestimating certain opportunities. Like something may transpire or be offered, or you may create an opportunity and you may think that it is capable of doing more for you than what it actually can do. So try going from moment to moment with these opportunities rather than being overly positive and overly optimistic to where you're ignoring the facts and you're ignoring the results in front of you. All right, use the outcomes that you are experiencing as a measuring tool for you to see how far you've come and also how far you still need to go. And definitely be careful with overindulgence and excess, because that can lead to some unpleasant consequences for some of you. So do be on the lookout for that. There is such a thing as having too much fun or too much comfort. And then when we get into the month of July, we have the sun entering and moving through the sign of Leo. And this is a time of year where you are experiencing a clashing of egos between yourself and whoever the other people are involved in the area of life where you have Leo. All right, so this could be a time where you want things to go your way and they want things to go their way. So everybody's trying to really push things in the direction that satisfies them best. So do be on the lookout for that. And also, this is a time for you to get your priorities in order, Taurus. Don't burn yourself out with too much fun or too much leisure activities. As I already mentioned, the overindulgence. You want to prioritize what you are pouring your energy into so that you can get back on track with your goals. This is not to say you're not allowed to enjoy yourself. It's just saying that there are seasons for that. And unfortunately for you, Taurus, Leo season is not necessarily the time for you to be indulging in enjoyment and fun. It is a time where you must prioritize the things that are important, the things that need your immediate attention, the things that are your responsibilities, and the time for fun will come sooner than you think. It's just not with the Leo energy, unfortunately. And then the last challenging transit that I see coming up for you in the month of July is the full moon that'll be in the sign of Aquarius at 6 degrees. It'll be taking place on the 29th of July. So around this time, you may be experiencing some very strange and challenging emotions coming up. Perhaps there are strange and inexplicable experiences or outcomes that are unfolding, things that you didn't expect, and you don't really know how to feel about them. For some of you, though, on a more positive note, this could be a time where you're completing a task or a cycle that has been very challenging for you for several months or even a year or two. All right, and this could be a time where the challenge is starting to ease up and you can see the finish line. All right, you're very close to solving whatever this situation is, and you may also solve it in a very unexpected or an unconventional way. All right, you must apply this Aquarius energy to the way in which you face this challenge. And the Aquarius full moon does require you to step out of your comfort zone, all the way out of your comfort zone, my tenacious Taurus. And those are your challenges for May, June, and July. Now let's get into your potential opportunities. Starting off with the month of May, this is a very fruitful time for you, Taurus. I mean, it is Taurus season, more especially the first half of it. And we have Mercury, which will be entering and moving through the sign of Taurus. Mars will be entering and moving through the sign of Taurus. There will be a Taurus new moon as well. So this is a great energy for you to come forward and really enjoy what the universe has to give to you, you know? So starting off with Mercury in Taurus. So this is going to give you the ability to communicate and express yourself well, more especially if it's making a conjunction to your sun or to your ascendant. Your self-expression or the way in which you are approaching things is going to feel a little bit more natural to you. It's going to feel a lot like yourself. So this is a good time for you to get yourself out there, introduce yourself to people if need be, or just enjoy expressing yourself and communicating your needs. When Mars enters and moves through the sign of Taurus, this can increase your motivation to take action towards things that you find valuable. Maybe for the great majority of the year, you feel like you have to take care of responsibilities and you have to take care of other people and you have to take care of everything else other than the things that are meaningful to you, that are valuable to you. So whilst Mars is in Taurus, I feel like you'll be able to put more energy behind the things that are of value to you. So this is yourself included, of course. Maybe this could be a time of pampering, plus it's your birthday season. So this could be a time where you are pampering yourself, you're getting your hair done, you're getting groomed, you're taking yourself on a weekend holiday situation. It's really up to you how you choose to express this energy. And this can also be a time where you feel comfortable with taking your time. You may notice that things generally slow down when Mars is in Taurus because Taurus energy doesn't do anything quickly. So this is like the permission that you have to slow down and enjoy things, savor things, like marinate in them, and really enjoy the sensation of how things feel and how things make you feel. All right, so this is your permission to take your time, because in any case, anything that you try to rush around this time, it's not going to happen at the pace that you think. So it is better to just slow down and enjoy living. Then we will have a new moon in the sign of Taurus. So by the time you're hearing this, this has already passed. It was on the 16th of May. So this is ushering in new beginnings for you, Taurus. It is the end of cycles and the beginning of new fruitful opportunities and experiences for you. So be an observer and look to your Taurus area of life if it is not in the first house. So if you are not Taurus rising, look to the Taurus area of your life and see what could it be? What is the new thing that has begun for you in this particular area of life? And if you are Taurus rising, you may feel like you've just completed a significant cycle, almost as if there's a particular weight off your shoulders, or if there was ever a dark cloud hanging above you, now it seems like it has just floated away and the sun is shining on you once again. And you can make note of this, that Venus, the ruler of this new moon, is in the sign of Gemini when this new moon is taking place. So it could be something that involves your voice or a communication, maybe even an idea to use some of your talents, your gifts, all right? Or maybe it's certain news. Did some of you receive some good news around the Taurus new moon? I would certainly like to know if you did. So do feel free to leave that in the comment section below. And then soon after that, we will have Venus entering the sign of Cancer. So this is a very favorable energy for you, Taurus, because it makes attracting opportunities a lot easier. And the Cancer energy is a passive energy, just like the Taurus energy. So it is receptive, right? So do keep your eye out, your ear out. Make sure your phone is on. Do not put the phone on Do Not Disturb, because this is a time where you may be receiving those opportunities. You may be receiving those phone calls, those emails that come back with a positive response to whatever it is that you have previously applied for, or whatever it is that you were trying to do or get off the ground. This could be a time where some of those things do kick off and you are having those new beginnings. This is like just after the new moon in Taurus. So this is a time where those birthday wishes that you were making and those affirmations and those intentions that you were setting over the new moon and during your birthday or solar return, Cancer season can be a very, very fruitful one for you, Taurus. So please do keep your eyes peeled. Do not miss out on your opportunities and on your answered prayers. Those of you who enjoy hosting, who enjoy networking events, social events, this is definitely the time to go out and be social. And meet people. You never know what a certain relationship might come with. It could come with very beautiful and beneficial opportunities for you. There could be people that you meet who can really help you with progressing with some of your ideas and some of your goals. So do be willing to be amongst other people around this time, and also be willing to receive support, Taurus. I know that you do like to do things on your own time and in your own way. However, this Cancer energy does say relax and receive support. Let other people come to take care and nurture you and support you, be with you in whatever it is that you are building or doing. Then as we get into the month of June, we have Mercury entering and moving through the sign of Cancer, and Mercury will also be going retrograde in the sign of Cancer. And this is a good thing for you, Taurus. So you don't need to worry about this Mercury retrograde unless you have a lot of cardinal energy in your chart. So the cardinal energy would be Capricorn, Cancer, well, the others, Libra and Aries, yes. So if you're a Taurus who has a lot of cardinal energy, yeah, it might not be as enjoyable. But if not, then don't worry about it. This Mercury retrograde is going to be wonderful for you. And then we also have Chiron, who will be entering the sign of Taurus. I don't know if this is going to be great or not so great, because conjunctions can go either way. They could either be really, really positive or really, really challenging, depending on who you are and also depending on other aspects that is making to your chart. So that is something that you will want to look into with your personal astrology and see whether or not this Chiron in Taurus energy is going to be good to you or challenging for you. And then we will also have the Sun entering the sign of Cancer within the month of June. So let's start things off with Mercury. So while Mercury is in Cancer, this is an excellent time for you, Taurus, to communicate your emotions and how you feel. Whether you want to put it in a poem, you want to talk to a therapist, to your parents, you want to write a letter, or you want to even create a song, write a sad song or something. This is the time to do it. You may find that during other seasons, people don't really want to hear how you feel about things, right? It may sound to them like you are complaining or moaning or you're whining. But the Mercury in Cancer energy is definitely your free tickets to whine and moan and complain as much as you like. I will say, do make it productive. Don't just complain for complaining's sake. Make sure that you are getting something beneficial out of expressing your ideas or expressing your emotions around this time. So if there is any conflict within any of your relationships, whether it be professional or personal, this is the time to go talk to that person and let them see your side of things, because I feel like with this energy, whatever you have to say may go down well, right, with other people. It may be more welcomed, and others may be more receptive to what you have to say and more willing to hear and see your side of things. So use that to your advantage. And then when Mercury goes retrograde right here, if you are Taurus rising, this is in your third house. If you are not Taurus rising, check to see where your Cancer house is. You will be reflecting and repairing relationships through communication. All right, maybe previously there are certain words that were said or assumptions that were made that made other people feel some kind of way that wasn't necessarily putting you in a good light. So this is a time where you can go back to those conversations or go back to those people, find out how they feel about a situation, or revisit that conversation and try to see things from their point of view. And by doing this reflecting and this introspecting on these situations or on these conversations and relationships, you may actually be able to empathize with others, which will make it easier for you to repair whatever it is that has gone wrong. But this is going to be a very positive energy for you. I do not see too much chaos around this time in your life, Taurus. This could also be a time where perhaps you got an answer, let's say several months ago, or even several years ago. Yeah, it's possible. And there was a response that you received from someone or from somewhere that was not good news, right? That did not make you feel good, that really made you question yourself. And around this time, there could be people who are reconnecting with you, asking for your talents or asking you to come and join the team or be a part of the group once again. Somebody may come to you with an apology and say, I actually have considered that situation that happened between us, or the thing that I said to you all those months ago, all those years ago, and I realized that I was wrong and I'm sorry. All right, so this could be a time where you're the one who is receiving positive communication about past situations. Okay, so yeah, this should be a good retrograde for you, Taurus. And then getting into Chiron. So first things first, while Chiron is in Taurus, you are going to be the most triggered by your wounds and insecurities for the next couple of years that we have Chiron in Taurus. I'm not really sure how long that'll be for now, but there is a video coming soon of the Chiron in Taurus experience. So please do keep your eyes peeled for that. And thank you for your patience in advance, because yeah, I'm really horrible with this content thing. But I appreciate your patience nonetheless. So yeah, you're going to be the most triggered. This puts your personal insecurities and your wounds in the spotlight, Taurus, where you really are healing your identity. And we know that the Taurus identity has a lot to do with self-worth and value. So it could be things that you thought you were over, right? Things that you thought, oh, that doesn't bother me anymore. That's not an issue for me anymore. It could be re-triggered around the Chiron and Taurus era, and you may realize that, oh, I didn't heal from this the way that I thought I did. Maybe I just put a band-aid over it and continued living my life, So this is a time where we're going to peel back these band-aids and actually inspect whether or not these wounds have actually been healed. And it's going to be a true test for your value and for your self-worth. So the Tauruses that have not been loving themselves correctly, that have not been valuing themselves correctly, this one may be a very, very uncomfortable experience for you. But for those of you who have been doing the work of self-worth and valuing, and I mean the real work, not the social media, I choose me, and the way social media and these, what can I call them? These fly-by-night positive affirmation pages and influences of self-love and self-worth. Some of these affirmations have nothing to do with value. Some of them have nothing to do with worthiness. And this could be a time where we may really see that, right? We could really see what real self-love looks like versus the fake and pretentious social media self-love. All right, so this could be a very revealing time for everyone in general. All right, everyone, the whole world is going to be experiencing Chiron and Taurus, but you specifically, Taurus, you are at the forefront of this energy. So you really are going to be leading by example with this energy, and whether people are doing so directly or indirectly, but people will really be looking to you to learn how to value themselves and how to value other things within their lives. All right, so this is going to be a very interesting energy. I'm excited to see it play out. And also, let's not forget about the funds, right? The money. Our values around money and finance and material goods and the things that we own, our assets, definitely going through a healing makeover. All right, so I'm buckling up for this one. It's going to be interesting. All right, then we get to Cancer season with the sun entering the sign of Cancer. So once again, Cancer energy is your friend. Cancer is your bestie, Taurus. If you didn't already know, now you know. Well, it's one of your besties. But this is a time where you may feel that you're receiving a lot more support and recognition. It's like there are more people that are coming through for you, even without you asking. Like people can see you doing something or being busy with something or even being challenged by something, and they may just volunteer their assistance, volunteer to help you out, right? To help you figure out certain situations. So do enjoy this recognition and the support that you are receiving. And also, please do allow it. Do not turn people away when they offer their service, their nurturing, and their care, okay? This can be a very productive time, especially if this is a time of new beginnings for you, because Cancer is a cardinal energy and initiatory energy. So if you were looking to start something, the sun in Cancer would be a good time to start. Just keep in mind that the early stages are the early stages. So do not rush the material results to manifest. All right. You do the nurturing first and foremost. You plant your seeds. And then we end things off with a new moon in the sign of Cancer on the 14th of July. And this too is an energy of fresh starts and new beginnings for you, Taurus. New opportunities can very well present around this time, and they may come through the form of other people. All right, the people within your community or the people that you are frequently communicating with, more especially if you're a Taurus rising. This is your third house. So communications are key, and they could definitely be bringing some good news or good communications your way, or that go ahead or that approval for you to start that project or to move forward in the direction that you would move forward in. This is a great time to set your intentions and to say a prayer or do rituals if you're into ritualing that are going to enrich and nourish the things that you are working on. All right, this is about the enrichment of you, the individual. So don't let this energy pass you by without setting some form of an intention for it. And with that, we have reached the end of your horoscope, my tenacious Taurus. That is the most significant astrology that I can see coming your way within these 3 months. Thank you so much for listening. On my end, I would appreciate a like or a comment if you found any of this information helpful at all. And if you would like to reach out to me for personal readings, or there's something personal that you would like to talk about, my contact methods are listed in the description below. For now, stay tenacious, and I will catch up with you soon.